Good afternoon, this is Blu Laker. This is Radio Tribune in Las Vegas, Nevada. Lost wages. Well, we're not gaining too much money in the Senate or the House. We're still losing like hell. When I say that, because of all this scuttlebutt about Russia, about, oh my goodness, Medicare, Obama, just all these things that get thrown in the face of this administration. This guy who didn't need the job, he doesn't want the salary, provided his own plane. How many people do we find like that anywhere? I mean, I'd like to know. They're far and few between. And then you have to find somebody that really cares about this country. A real patriot, someone who's willing to fight for it. And of course, it would be foolish to say that Donald Trump doesn't have any fight in him, because we've already seen him in action. And we're going to see more as we continue down this road with him. And I say with him. Now today he announced that he's going to be meeting with Putin next week. Oh my goodness, I can expect the uproar to be, well, there's going to be all kinds of things happening. No matter that Obama met with Putin several times, no matter that, maybe there's something there that's going to be worthwhile for the United States and that we can develop a good relationship together. No, there's just too many demagogues. Too many people who think they know how to run the country, when in fact they had plenty of time to do that and failed. And Obamacare is just another failure on the part of the past administration. Now we have a chance to move forward with a system that is going to cost less and provide more. Well, how can you do that? Well, it's pretty simple. There was a statement made here in Nevada, actually it was in the paper, that since Obamacare has come in and since they've done the extended care out of the state of Nevada, they've added 200,000 more recipients for Medicare. 200,000. You know what? They didn't tell you who that 200,000 was, or that 200,000 is. We don't know. When they say 200,000, are they talking about minors, or are they talking about food servers, or are they talking about bartenders, are they talking about demographics, that is to say, people on welfare, people that are on food stamps? You see, that's what's really important, is who are we giving this to, and are they legal to be able to receive those benefits? Because if you put 200,000 people on the rolls, and they happen to be all illegal, then what you've done is committed a crime yourself. Or they don't look at it that way, they just look at it as people. But they don't look at it just as people, because when demographics are involved, that means they're paying attention to a certain group or organization. And if that group or organization happens to be a political party, and they've done this to promote and make sure that they stay with the party that they're in, then of course, again, we have another side to this aid that is supposed to be given to the people. So I don't know how I'm going to find out, but I know there's the Freedom of Information Act, but I'm not so sure that's going to extend to you in the state. But we need to know who these 200,000 people are that have got the expanded benefits, and are they on subsidies to boot? In other words, you give them Medicare, and then all of a sudden the premiums are $500-600 a month, but the subsidies reduce it down to about $150, which means that you're paying for them again. Now, how is that beneficial to the common good? I don't see it. I don't understand it. I'd like to. Is there something wrong with understanding and being very clear about the direction that we're headed and why we're doing it? Or do we just take it for granted that these people are all entitled to the benefits that they've been receiving. Again, I guess I'm playing, devil's advocate in saying, well, what, where, why, or when? You see, we've been attacked so badly, we don't begin to recognize that there are other things out there that potentially are harmful to the overall success of the economy. The economy is not supposed to be based on printing more money. We've done that. We're $20 trillion in debt, or more, and I'm sure it's more than not just 20 trillion anymore. And the reason I say that is really simple. I was reading a report the other day from 2013 that basically was, what are the trade-offs between subsidies and working? And the conclusion that they came through, and this book is an inch thick, these studies were done by professionals in universities, people that know the math. And it is estimated back then, in 2013, that the subsidies that we have to pay for are $668 billion. Now, I didn't say million, I said $668 billion that we give to subsidies in this country annually. Now, you would think, well, okay, well, that's fine and dandy. Well, it's not fine and dandy to begin with, but the second thing is, that doesn't include the $287 billion that is set aside for the poor. Seems to me we could do a hell of a lot with that money. We could buy all kinds of old cruise liners and put them out at sea and help these people if we wanted to. Provide them with everything that they need, medicine, education, a place to stay, and at far less cost. At the same time, rehabilitating them. Allow them to get into the job market. Oh, but they can't. They can't, or they don't want to, or they won't. And the reasons are pretty simple. According to the information, some people are receiving $15 an hour to stay home. $15 an hour to stay home and no taxes to pay. That's comparable to having a job at about $20 an hour with taxes taken out. Well, why would they want to go to work and pay the taxes? And where were they going to find a job for $20? Because most of these people obviously don't have the talent, the education, or the necessities to perform decent work. Again, all we're saying is, why can't we balance the budget? Why can't we make it equitable? Why can't we make it fair? Why is it fair to give someone $15 an hour and someone else $8.50? You work, you put in your time, $8.50 an hour, and then they take the taxes out. So what do you wind up with? $6.50? $6 an hour? $240 a week? When someone else is making $15 an hour? $550 a week? Where's the parity? Where's the common sense? There's none. This is stupid. Stupid. And we need to change it. Hopefully we have someone in the administration now who's willing to pick it up and take care of it. All these things take time because of the delays. Here again, they want to delay Obamacare until after the 4th of July. Now the GOP has said, well, we're going to try to get it done and make the changes that are necessary so that we can move forward with this program and get it out of the way. There's no question that it needs to go. There's no question that we will never, ever know the true cost of Obamacare. The billions of dollars that have gone into it. The billions of dollars that have gone to people who have not deserved it. And the entitlements that are given with it. The subsidies. Why is it fair for someone to pay $600 a month and another person to have the same bill they pay $150. Because of the subsidies? Well, where do you sign up for subsidies? I want to get some of them. You know, it seems like it's kind of one-sided. And when it comes to real Americans, and I consider myself a real American, not only am I patriotic, I'm a Christian. We're the largest Christian population in the world. And that might be changing pretty soon if the Islamic terrorists have their way. You see, their theory is simple. Join us or we destroy you. And you know, I think it's one thing to maybe think that. It's another thing to actually broadcast it and tell the world what you're going to do. And we've seen it. We've seen the beheading. We've seen the hanging. We've seen all of the horrors that you could possibly imagine perpetrated on human beings, women, men, and children. So at some time, we're going to have to gain control of this, and I don't care what it takes. If it takes another bomb like we did in Hiroshima, so be it. But will we get them all? Probably not. Muslims constitute the second largest religion in the world. That's a pretty big fight. Pretty big fight, especially when we're not putting up any resistance. Well, yes, we are. We're going over there with drones and tanks and bombs and machine guns. And then, of course, after we leave, we'll leave that stuff there for them to pick up and use on us again. But that's not even the half of it, you see, because they're smart enough to know that the best way for them to get the weapons and ammunition is just take it from us. And since we're so willing to give it freely to the quote-unquote rebels, we have a little bit of a problem in understanding that we are on one side and Russia is on the other. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Doesn't want to make us. Do we need to antagonize a country like Russia? I don't think so. I think we should be trying to negotiate a deal with them in some way, shape, or form, where we can work together to make real things happen. Yes, we can make real things happen if we have their cooperation. They not only have the nuclear facilities and the weapons and the soldiers that can do it, we have just as many. Now, does it make any sense for us to do a conflict with them when we should join arms with them? Well, how can we do that? Well, they can't do that. You know how Russia is. They this, they that. Yeah, they were our allies in a couple of wars. But we don't know how to take care of our allies. You see, Saddam Hussein was an ally. So was Libya. So was Qatar and a few of the others. But we just decide that, we need something they got, and we go get it. It doesn't matter what the consequences are. Oh, in some cases we're sympathetic and we give them repatriation. How do you repatriate somebody that's dead? Oh, I don't know. Oh, yes, I do know. I forgot for a second. You see, there's only one person that can repatriate human beings, and that's God. And at some point in time, we're going to have to face that. But I know all of us would like to live a full life. We would all like to have the qualities that are inherent in the American dream. But we see so much confusion and conflict, so many people trying to derail the progress that we're making. And you don't think that ISIS and some of these other organizations know how to play the game? Sure, so they bomb Yemen and they knock out a spot. But they do it with GPS. It's not that we're extra clever. GPS has been around for 20, 30 years. And all you have to do is plant the device and it'll zone in on where you're looking. And when they come in and bomb, and the people have no forewarning, and civilians are killed as easily as the opponent. And in some cases, we kill more civilians than we do terrorists. And at what cost? Here again, we need to talk about money. We're sending, or have already sent, 81 billion, $81 billion to fight the war in Afghanistan. How about spending some of that money here? We could use it. There are people that need jobs and opportunity, people who need to come off of welfare, people who need to come off of social services that don't belong there, and people who are here illegally in the United States. What's the problem with understanding the word illegal? I know if I get a traffic ticket, I'm guilty until proven innocent. And yet, it doesn't seem to work when it's somebody else. I sometimes wonder, am I on the wrong side of this? Should I be a minority and take the privileges? Well, no, I don't think so. I'm happy with what I've done, where I've been, and where I'm going. And so I don't think that that's ever going to occur in my life. I certainly won't become a Muslim or an Islamic follower. I don't believe in generating your own prophets. I believe that there's only one true prophet, and that we get our orders from him. We get that in the form of the 10 Commandments. If we follow those 10 Commandments, we're pretty much in check. Pretty much in check. And do we need the volumes of laws that are out there? There's 100,000 laws on the book. 100,000. You can't go down the street without committing one of them. You may not know what it is, but they're there, and they're going to take refuge with you. Anyway, like I said, the main topic this morning was the fact that we are now going to be meeting with Putin, and I'm looking forward to that, and I'm sure that there will be some good that comes out of it. They're not getting together to see if they can fight. They're getting together to see if they can stir up some kind of association, cooperation, and collective power. And we have it. It's not only the political situation that we have to worry about, it's the monetary situation. As I already discussed today, with all the money that we're spending on subsidies, and certainly there are some of them that are warranted, but are you kidding me? $686 billion and another $287 billion, $1 trillion a year that we're spending. Is there any wonder that our deficit is climbing? And how do we stop it? Good question. Oh, we can't take it away from Aunt Susie. She blah blah blah. Okay, well, hey, look, I understand about Aunt Susie, and she may be the exception to the fact, but there's too many of them that are on the system, and there's estimated to be 1.4 million illegals collecting subsidies. 1.4 million people, illegals that are collecting subsidies and working with false IDs and social security cards. That means that if we were to add up all the money that they're taking, we would have a better understanding, clearer understanding of our financial woes. But as long as we're going to tolerate this with these people, the deficit can only go one way, up. And as long as the deficit is going up, our services are going to shrink. Now you can say, well, wait a minute, why don't we cut off the subsidies to the people who don't deserve it and increase the benefits. Oh, that's a wonderful idea, but you can't have one without the other. You can't have one without the other. We're a very generous nation. We must be. We give millions and millions and millions of dollars and billions of dollars to certain countries, including Iran. We gave billions of dollars to Iran to arrange for nuclear consideration. They took our money, and they're like the politicians we have. Tell them what you want them to hear or what they want to hear, and don't do nothing. At some point in time, these things will come to a head. Unfortunately, the possibility of what they can do, unknown perhaps, but there are many things, whether it's chemical warfare or nuclear warfare or EMP, electrical magnetic pulses, or even a natural solar flare, or what's projected to be an imminent danger is the earthquake in Yellowstone Park, which apparently exploded 400,000 years ago and is due for another eruption. And they predict that 60 to 70% of the United States population will be wiped out. That's a natural phenomenon. But pandemics are another one. And with one, you sometimes get the other. And then you see people folding like sticks. Where are we at? What are we going to do? And who are we going to get to do it with? Do it with impunity. Get it done. Not all this chaos and confusion and spending the time and money that these representatives are supposed to be using in a productive manner. Productive means something positive, not something negative. We find every single day, someone who's been caught maybe 10, 15 years later, and we finally got them and punished them. Well, it seems to be commonplace in today's society. Commonplace. And our elected representatives do exactly the same thing. I don't know why we elect them. They don't want to listen to what the hell we have to say. Try to reach one of them on the telephone sometime. See if you can get in touch with anybody direct. You might get an aide, and they'll pass on the message. Maybe. That's not what they said when they were getting elected. I will be your voice. You can't hear my voice if you don't open the door. Yes, politics suck. But it's the only form that we have outside of an outright rebellion. Yes, look at the things that are happening here, both locally and nationally. And tell me that there's not something in the making. Tell me that ISIS is alone by themselves. Forget 13 or M13, which is the version of the Mexican mafia. What about some of the motorcycle clubs who have the same kind of agendas? And what about this bitter fight that we have between Democrats and Republicans? Is it any better or any worse than ISIS? Are they not threatening to, they show a woman with a dripping head of Donald Trump, beheaded Donald Trump. They say hunt Republicans. And yet, we haven't responded. Why? Why? At what point in time do we finally say that is enough? We're not taking it anymore, and this is what we're going to do. They won't listen to anything but power. And if we have to produce the power, I'm sure we can. Well, today, we haven't seen all of the results that are coming in because there's two bills that are currently being voted on today, or perhaps have already happened. I'm not sure because I was watching it a couple of hours ago. And one of those is Katie's Law. Hope I said that correctly. And the other one is I'll think about that. But anyway, these are the two bills that are being considered today. They're up for a vote. And so we're going to be hearing more about that a little bit later as that develops. Tomorrow being Friday, well, first of all, I have a little surgery that I'm going to do. And because of that, I may not be able to communicate. So I'm not sure that I'll be here tomorrow. But I do want you to know that this is Blu Laker. This is Radio Tribune here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're 717 South 9th Street. That's at the corner of Charleston and 9th. We're on 9th. And you can come by or you can call in. We have a call-in number at 984-6843. And you can call in, voice your opinion if you want. Hey, by all means do. You know, let's see if you're just really a couch potato or someone who's actively interested in your community and want to do something about it. So, for today, again, this is the Las Vegas Tribune, and we have a weekly publication that comes out with a lot of good promotions and news, especially that you're not going to find anyplace else. So for today, Blu Laker here, and we'll see you tomorrow.